Moving on, following some renewed negotiations, the Israeli cabinet back on track towards approving of a 2-year state budget. Finance Minister Liberman hoping to pass it through its first reading within days. And if approved, it would be the first budget to pass in Israel since 2019. But the nearly 900 billion shekel outline is still facing some hurdles. Criticisms rising even from within the coalition over some of the more controversial tenets of the proposal, like the sweeping reforms in kosher food and certification oversight, reforms to agriculture and imports, taxes on sugar, travel, disposable plasticware, and the gradual rising of the retirement age for women to 65 over the next decade. But with me to analyze is value creation expert with the Academic College of Tel Aviv-Jaffa, Dr. Alex Coman. Dr. Coman, it's great to have you back with us. Now, we know the opposition are opposed, particularly the more religious factions. But within the coalition as well, Finance Minister Avigdor Lieberman is pushing back against members from Labor, from Meretz, and from Ram, who are among those expressing serious concerns. What are the chances that the budget doesn't pass and that the coalition actually collapses?
Well, I think that there are not too many chances that the coalition would collapse, because from the beginning it was clear that this is a very feeble coalition with a very tiny majority, with several descendants within it that would consider leaving if they were annoyed. So everybody is walking on eggshells to make sure that nothing happens. One of the things that could help this, so one thing is obvious: the budget that will pass is not the budget that is being submitted today. There would be many cuts and removals of components from this budget. One of the things that Lieberman was trying to achieve and has not achieved yet is the fact that he is cutting the benefits to the extreme religious parties. The extreme religious parties are loyal to Netanyahu, but should they understand that if they were to join this government, this would dramatically benefit them, including joining the military budgets for yeshiva students, etc., I think this would make the government much broader. The government would have a much broader support in the parliament.
But do you think that there's actually a chance of that happening? Do you think there's really a chance of that happening, of the Haredi parties breaking with the pro-Netanyahu bloc, the opposition bloc, and joining the coalition?
Every morning I pray for that to happen. So,
all right, well,
so I would assume.
All right. Well, we discussed a couple of issues in the budget arrangements law. Which do you feel are most necessary and the most beneficial, maybe, and which do you think are maybe a bad idea, unnecessary, or even harmful?
Well, first of all, women's retirement age. I think that we hear a lot of objection to that, but I do not think that this is an item that will cause the coalition to fall. I think even the radical left realize that since people live longer today, women live 4 years longer on average than men. This means that if women's retirement age is left as it is today, this actually hurts the women themselves, because they do not accumulate enough money for their pensions, so they have lower pensions than they would have had they worked longer. My mother, for example, she was a pediatrician. She worked way longer than retirement age. And I mean, first of all, it made her much happier, and also her pension was very nice. So this, I think, is an item that will not be controversial. A more controversial item is opening agriculture to competition. We have several problems in Israel, particularly the egg and the milk cartel. Yeah. And the idea is to open this to competition. And there's massive opposition from the Labor Party, because the Labor Party is massively based on kibbutzim, who live on agriculture. And so I think this is going to be a very controversial item. And I think that there would be a massive compromise there. Compromise meaning that it would probably be spread over a very long period of time. And I believe that there would be compensation to those farmers or growers who will be hurt by that.
All right, well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but as you said, I mean, it sounds like a lot of these controversial measures will likely be amended or even removed. I know Finance Minister Liberman is rejecting the idea that these bills will be edited at all, but of course, that could always be politics. We'll have to see.
Yes.
Dr. Coman, thank you so much.